Well, hey there, everyone. It is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Welcome once again to the IFYL show, Inspirations for Your Life, right here with your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. If you are new to this channel, you'll notice right there at the top, yep, just appeared, a QR code. Take your phone, scan the QR code. That'll direct you to my link tree. That's linktr.ee. But if you have any problems getting to it, either scanning my hat or scanning the QR code, then you can just go to Believe, like what's on my hat, BELIEVE, me, ME, and then Achieve, ACHIEVE.com. Because before you can achieve anything, you have to believe it. And for those of you that are new, every single day we have a brand new subtopic that kind of resonates around the main topic of the week. And what is that main topic of the week? Well, I thought you guys would never ask me. The main topic of the week is what to focus on to be a success. If you are coming back here, it is great to have you here supporting my channel and soaking up all this great wisdom. So thank you so much for being here and helping make IFYL a great place for so many of you. So we talked about a lot of things before, and we only have a few days left to talk about what do you need to focus on to be a success. Well, one thing I want to say to you is that a lot of people tell me, John, I want to focus on what other people are doing. But the truth of the matter is, don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about what you need to do. Now, if what someone else is doing is someone that you're modeling, someone that you want to become like, well, that's different. But don't just do something because the Joneses are doing it, or the Smiths are doing it. There has to be a reason or a purpose. Thus, I don't want you to just be willy-willer all over the place and saying, I want to do this because Joe's doing this, Bob's doing this, Mary's doing this, Scott's doing this, Bob's doing this. Don't do that because you're going to run yourself into the ground and you're not going to become any more successful than you are right now. Now, we learned something very interesting yesterday was that most people will focus on the outcome. But what you need to do, as we said yesterday, focus on the change that you want to become, and then your outcome will change. That's really important. So we think about what do we want to focus on to be a success? We've heard me talk about the fact that I love to focus on being grateful and having gratitude, right? Something else that I think is really important to focus on to be a success is going to be the lessons that you learn. Now, sometimes a lesson you learn may not be one that's pleasant, and I'm sorry about that if it happens that way, but sometimes they happen in a manner that kind of shake you or wake you up. And so when this happens, your life sort of changes because we have what we call a tower moment. What the heck's a tower moment? Well, a tower moment in life is when things kind of tumble down, right? Kind of fall. Like, so we say a big tower kind of collapses. And so a tower moment happens so that you can make way for something that is better than what you're currently doing now, right? Our whole goal here is to become a better version of ourselves and help other people become better versions of themselves. That's why we're here every single day. That's why I'm here. That's why I love doing this show for you guys. And so when you think about that, I think it means something in the fact that every day you can learn something. Now, if you're one of these people who say, oh, I've learned enough. I went to school. I got my degrees. I got my master's. I can't learn anything. Well, I beg to differ with you. You see, those that are open to learning will get new opportunities, see new circumstances, and have that inspired action to grow from within. Those that don't want to focus on the fact that there is more learning to be done. See, learning doesn't end when you leave school. It doesn't end when you graduate grammar school, high school, college, master's, or the programs. It doesn't end. Learning is a continual evolution. And if you don't agree with me on that, then my question is, how do you want to improve your life if you're not going to be open to improvement? Now, I know most of the people here that watch the channel understand that improvement is not a diet. It's something that you do and you're happy to do because it becomes this great habit to instill things that cause you to have greater results. Well, how does that happen, John? It's simple. When you make a commitment to yourself to do something a certain way, like I'm committed to keep learning, then more teachers and more information and more instructions are going to magically come before me that I can choose to read, view, watch, and learn from. But there's a lot of people out there that have a great big ego. And when they have this ego, they believe that they are the be all end all. Now, a lot of you might be very knowledgeable, and I think that's very cool. I don't care how smart you are or how smart you believe you are, you always can become better. And you always can learn from something, right? There was a story on the other night. I was watching when I was in Florida called Chicago Fire. It was a 911 story on Ion TV. And there was a gentleman who had been leading the brigade, the chief of the fire department for a long time. And apparently he might have rubbed some people the wrong way. There was one particular guy that he had put on his recommendation that he was a great person, but he didn't have the skills necessary for the fire department, and that he recommended he work in another field. That's what he learned. And so now that person was trying to make the chief's life miserable. And he kept just trying to get under his skin and trying to appear like he's the big know-it-all. He didn't know anything. Well, there was a fire that came up, and they went to the site for the fire. And all of a sudden, on the fire, they were saying that they needed help getting something. He's like, "Yeah, I agree with that." And one of the guys is like, "You're the one that's supposed to call in for that help." And he gets on his, his radio, and he just made a typical ASS out of himself because he didn't know how to do anything. And then after that situation, he was writing people up. Well, the next week came, and there was another situation at a hotel. People were just passing out left and right. So they go over there, and later on, they discover that it was a suicide pact and that one couple put in so much, let's say, Clorox and different types of chemicals to create so much fumes that would kill anybody through the ventilation. I mean, they filled the whole tub. It was terrible what they did. But the point is that these firemen and fire ladies were working really hard to try to solve the situation and learn what was going on. And this acting chief who got in there, first of all, in the morning said that he's the one that's going to be doing the pep talk. And he did a terrible pep talk. And then they get out to the scene and they say what it is. They need hazmat on the team. He's like, "Oh, I concur. That's a good idea." And the other gentleman comes over and says, "Yes, and you're the one that has to call hazmat in." Oh, and he starts getting on his radio, and he was just so out of his element. And after that situation that happened, and they saved all these people, I remember them coming back to the office and him telling the chief that he's writing these people up for being insubordinate, for not responding to proper tactics, for not responding to a call when they were trying to save somebody's life, and he was reprimanding them for not getting on the radio. He was also reprimanding them for the fact that they were being disrespectful to this acting chief, but they weren't being disrespectful. They were just kind of annoyed that he really didn't know what he was doing. And they were trying to be polite about it, but he could see that they really didn't respect him. And the reason they didn't respect him is very simply that he had this great big ego inside him, and he thought he was the bee's knees. And so this head person that was from the district had placed him there to basically, hopefully, replace him. And so one time the cop had actually the fire chief, the old fire chief, had gone down to see him, and he wasn't going to see him. And another time he went there and he snuck out the back door. And then the one person that knew this other person in the district very well, but yet the kid didn't get along with his father very well. And he went there and he just asked him to please, to see him. And he said he'll have to think about it. Well, the next day, he gets a call to go to the ER. And then all of a sudden, he gets told, "I'm sorry, we did all we could." He said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Your father passed away." And he was so annoyed and so angry that he passed away. He's like, "I just asked my father to do one thing for me. One thing for me. I never asked for anything. I asked him to do one thing for me, which was to get this kid to back down and let this fire chief that's been there for so many years continue to run this force." Well, he went to the chapel of that hospital, in that hospital, and he was just all so upset with his father. And the chief comes in, and he goes, "The one thing I asked my father to do, and he didn't do it for me. The one thing I asked him to do, and he wouldn't do it. I never asked him for anything." And the chief came and he said, "Your father did go to the head person, and he told him that, I'm cashing in all my political favors. I just want you to get this guy to step down." And he told him that no one else runs the house like this guy. And the person in there is just out of their element. And that how this person has treated my son like a son when I was the father that wasn't there. And so the kid is like ready to cry as he's hearing this. This father actually did the one thing that he asked him to do. He did it. And he could never say thank you to his father because he passed away. And then they got back to the office, and all of a sudden, it was a little bit before, and then the kid says, he said, "I want to tell you what happened." He says, why I put the fire service out of commission. It was because you don't owe me anything. You don't have to tell me anything. He's like, "What's the matter?" He's like, "I don't know what rock you turned or what you did, but the chief has told me that he doesn't want me wasting my time here at the fire department. He feels that there are more things that I could be efficient at." And it was interesting because for once, the father did something to help the son and to help the community. And the commissioner, when he saw that and saw how they're acting and how he's saving people's lives, that was so impressionable. And then there was another situation in that same story that night where they had these homes, let's say temporary trailer homes, and they were catching on fire. And this girl comes in. This is all while they were under this brigade and control, where this kid was trying to like get in everybody's face. And he said, "How can I help you?" The lady came in to talk to this fire person, and the guy's like, "How can I help you?" He says, "Well, that fire the day. I was wondering if we could go take a look. This is very common that this fire has been happening in these same model homes all across the country. But every time I get them, they're always not there." Says, "Yeah." So he takes her to the place, and the trailer's not there anymore. So I didn't know you wanted to keep it. And then he asked if there were any more homes like that on the property that were the same make and model. And yes. And so he had a theory that something was happening with the heat in the refrigerator. And so the lady said to the gentleman that was still living there at this other house, "How much do you want for your refrigerator?" And she wrote him a check on the spot. They took their refrigerator off with some heat devices that they had, and they put that into the fire station, and they conducted some tests, and they videotaped it. And there was a valve on the refrigerator. It was a device that was cooled by basically a heat pump. And when that valve was not working properly and heat was applied, it actually caused it to go up in flames. Well, she wrote the story, and they had to replace several of these trailers across the country, millions of dollars worth, several millions of dollars worth. And so when you watch something like that, what should you focus on to be a success? You should focus on your passion. You could focus on doing what's right for a community. Focus on doing something that's right for others. And when you focus on it, regardless of whether you get attention for it or not, you're already a success. You're a success in one person's eyes, you're a success in your eyes because you help bring light to a story that was never able to be shown. So today I want you to understand that to become a success, sometimes the thoughts and the ways that you live your life are important, because if you can focus on something that's going to make someone else's life better, maybe end discrimination, race, religion, sexual orientation, whatever it is, if you can do that, it's going to make you a hero, not just a success. Now, these are things that most people don't want to get involved in because of political reasons, because of money, and lots of other issues. But this gentleman said something that really hit home to me. The head person there told him to go and help the lady. And the kid that was kind of trying to become this quasi chief who didn't know anything about the department, just was a paper pusher with pencils. He found out that he helped the lady, and he was furious. And the chief's like, he's like, "You go help her because it's the right thing to do." So to be a success, you know what you need to think about? Doing the right thing in life. And you may not have a lot of friends that are around you because you're doing the right thing. But the example you set will get a few people to follow you. And if nothing else and this whole thing happens, you're going to know you did the right thing. And even if you don't get a pat on the back, which you probably will, you're going to know that you're living a life of purpose. A life of purpose to help the truth be told. That's pretty powerful. I hope you'll choose to like my channel, support it. Definitely comment below. How does this resonate with you? Do you focus on things that are of purpose, that are the right thing? Or just focus on things that bring money, or focus on things because they're a political, quote unquote, thing to do? Do you focus on doing things because that's what the cool kids do or what the cool guys are doing, right? Do you focus on what's really important to others or just what people tell you is important? Then I would love you to tag your friends, your colleagues, and your associates and share this out with everyone you know on social media. And go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space MRLY Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for the key phrase, ladies and gentlemen, and make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee and help keep our content free. Click on that PayPal link, buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful for those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational, inspirational content to get you off your butt and into action, to make those choices, to live the life of passion and truth that you've always wanted. And most importantly, to do what's right in life. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Of course, you know by now, it has been a big privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you. And I hope you'll tune in tomorrow for episode 6, and we'll continue this great conversation of what should you focus on to be a success. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Take care.